see most of the human race killed off because it is unworthy. It is unworthy of the gift of life.
I don't care what society thinks. They're nothing anyway. They're no better than me.
Until we hear the safe word, we will not stop.
Have you ever thought what it would be like to see a person's head amputated? Think of things so horrible that the human mind cannot imagine them. To see all this and more when you see on stage, in person, that crazy mix-up.
I like being set apart from people. I like to be hated.
Safe Word with Jason Rouse.
Try to look more.
La 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 la. Hey, this is Jason Rouse, and welcome to the Safe Word Podcast. My guest today on a what day is it today?
Tuesday.
Courtney Banks. Here, is that your real last name?
Yeah.
It's a good show business name.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I was born for stardom. No.
Do you ever picture your name up in lights?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Because I know you through the comedy industry. I've had fantasies about putting my name up, but in my own shit, on the high school that I used to go to tell my guidance counselor, you were right, it was a murder-suicide. But you're from, is it?
That's so sweet.
Idaho?
Virginia. Yes, nothing like Idaho, I don't think. I've never been there.
No.
Why am I bland? Is that?
No. I knew
that's what I think.
That where you were from started with an O.
Mm-mm.
With a Z?
Oh, Ohio.
Ohio.
I went to Ohio State.
You went to university?
Yeah.
Not me.
You're smart.
I went to school for 2 weeks, and that was enough. I got enough out of these people. But what were you in school for acting?
No.
But you've done some acting.
Yeah, I've done some acting. I moved
every
here.
Every day in Hollywood, on the streets.
Hey,
how are you doing? Nice to see ya.
Holy shit. Yeah, every conversation, pretty much. That's why I stay inside a lot.
Yes, myself included.
Yeah, you got to get paid to... talk to
it's
people.
a weird thing, too, because I think for me, they're like, what does this guy do? I think he has a meth lab in his apartment because he only goes out at night. He's always in black, and he clearly has some issues to work out. I don't know.
Why would you think you look like you have issues?
Because I stand in front of their windows naked when they're sleeping, and sometimes we get caught.
Just like...
the unwanted
protection,
jellyfish. Yeah, we couldn't afford the high-level security system, but you just set a tone for the rest of the neighborhood.
Understandable.
If you put your dick through a mailbox or something like that. That's a good deterrent. Better than a watchdog.
Can you put your dick through a mailbox?
Can I? Where do you think it is right now? Well, it's not my dick. It was left behind by my ex-girlfriend. It's more of a meat-colored boomerang.
Double-sided?
Not double-sided. I don't even know if it's a sex instrument. It was some piece like an old door hinge she used to shove in her car.
Rusty.
She was a terrible person.
Really?
Yeah, I've had terrible people in my life.
I feel like you'd be such a good judge of character.
Yeah, but sometimes because I'm very unjudgmental maybe, that I kind of corner off certain things that are clearly a warning. Red flag.
You just ignore red flags all the time.
I try to. Yeah. Oh, look at that poor girl over there burning herself with cigarettes. She's got a great smile. She's got a great smile. Maybe that will make my mother happy.
Wow.
But this city's like the worst for dating.
100%.
But our talent pool is quite shallow, and outside of comedy, nobody wants anything to do with it.
With us, people?
Yeah. Stand-up comedians in L.A. are like this kind of migrant fruit pickers who kind of just show up and beg for this to work for free almost.
Yeah. And you have to explain that to somebody?
Yeah, on paper, you said you went to university. Mm-hmm. You go through a series of classes and programs and put your time in, then you get a certificate that says you're able to do this, that, and the other thing. But there's no handbook for this.
No.
And what have you? How long have you been doing this now?
Like 2.5 years in.
2.5 years?
Yeah.
Did you start in LA? Or?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know. Everybody's like, don't start in L.A. I kind of...
Yeah. There's exceptions. You know,
Like,
Ari
love it.
Shafir, you know, he started in L.A. and maybe in Washington, but his career kind of come from here.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. It's just not the most productive environment to kind of make growing pains.
You gotta leave for sure. I mean, whenever I have a chance to do any show that's not just right, because I live in Hollywood, so you know, anytime I can do a show that's close, bar show, coffee, whatever it is, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
those are great. But just to get out of the city and away, I mean, I don't think it wouldn't matter where you were. It's always nice to get out of what you're comfortable with. So that's what I look forward to. And then.
I just lived that 2 days ago. I got invited to go do a show in Glendale, Arizona, near Phoenix there.
I just spilled on myself.
Oh, really? There's some paper towels over there if you need them.
I'm still listening.
You got a chin strap or some sort of lobster bib or something? It was in Arizona, and I couldn't wait to get out of the state of California just for some change and stuff. Yet there really wasn't much there. It's pretty barren. Like some of these places in Arizona.
It's crazy when you live in a city like this, when you go to places that are still
behind.
You're like almost can't wrap your brain around it. Like, shit. Oh, a lot of people still just like.
They're voters too.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the fucked up part.
It makes so much more sense. Like when I just went home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. Yeah, I get why these people would have voted. I mean, actually, Virginia went blue, which was exciting. But
I have never voted for anything in my life, ever.
Did the election make you think about maybe voting?
No, well, I'm.
You're Canadian. That's
Canadian,
right. So you can't.
I can apply for citizenship this year, but
what about in Canadian stuff?
In Canada?
In Canadian.
I've never had any interest in anybody's politics, teams, or fucking sports, all that rah horse shit.
Well, luckily though, you guys seem to like have a little bit more empathy for each other, so I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be like, if I don't vote, the whole world might blow up. Like that's how I felt.
And I think Canada's empathy, we've kind of buy into our own press sometimes, so I think that we can be over sensitive and slightly conservative in some ways or another, especially with, in the United States, you have the freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the Canadian version of it, but there was some comedians that had to pay large sums of money because of things that they said during comedy for fines.
Is that still happening all the time?
No, as far as I know, it happened with a French-Canadian comedian who made a joke about a young man who was in a crippling disease and he was dying. A young boy or something, and he met the Pope. It was part of his farewell was meeting the Pope. Well, the guy ended up living like another 30 years.
Oh, shit.
So he's like, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like, is he going to
Seriously?
die? Yeah, right? And we had a nice chuckle at that right now, and I completely butchered this, but you kind of get the, fill in the blanks. And then apparently some comedian in Vancouver had an open mic, got in a face of these two lesbians, and they sued him and won.
Wow.
Over a verbal attack. I think he smashed one of their sunglasses or some shit, which he shouldn't have done, but...
that never even crosses my mind. Like when I go to a mic, I'm thinking about, well, now it crosses my mind.
Some of the LA open mics are full of like borderline homeless drug addicts. Like who doesn't smell like piss at an open mic?
Hey, I try to bathe every now and then. You know?
Yeah, but come on, like
some of them can be, but
those hipsters are taking that lifestyle way too seriously.
Some of those hipsters police too. Like, so there's sometimes
police
your language. So like, I don't really think about like getting in trouble with the government, but like, you know, if I want to try out a joke that might need to go through a few stages before it makes the point I'm really trying to make with it, it might sound fucked up the first time. Like, I know there are guys who try jokes about women and they're really like,
all right, let me stop you right there.
What?
You just grab these people by the shirt and pull them in close and go, you're the problem and I'm the answer. and this be done with it. To start,
but then they
putting
like
these
make all these
things on the
blogs and like
Yeah,
try
fuck
to
them.
like it's exhausting sometimes.
How is that going to affect you in any way? They're all fucking B-level amateur losers.
That's true. That's
And
true.
they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They've put in their morality in front of the comedy, and the people will judge, not some fucking kid with wheatgrass in his teeth running an open mic that he's charged people to go to, and fuck you. I don't know. I
just don't want to deal with the headache of like, really getting into like. I mean, obviously we all have our little tiffs that come up, but some
You
of
guys
these ones
see-
where they
you-
really police each other, it's crazy.
This is what happens, and I think I've brought this before. This is what happens when you take bullying out of schools. There's the sheep have run rampant.
People don't know how to react to like even the slightest bit of like uncomfortability.
Yes, and a lot of their the conversation is very contrived, and there's a bunch of horseshit behind it.
Yeah.
It's poo face, isn't it?
How does that make it? Can you demonstrate that?
Poo face. Actually, I got a whole run of videos on my computer that would probably put us all in the poorhouse. Oh, this is all right. And a little shout out to LA Speedweed, Gino here.
Yeah,
We got
Gino.
some a bay leaf with some sort of cork thing in the back.
So I look really high, or do I just look pleasant?
No, you were smiling, and I think I was telling you a story about how my father committed suicide. So I knew you were high. I wasn't taking it personal. No, I wasn't.
I do that a lot when I'm high.
I was
Just
pretty
smile
big.
and nod.
So you come out to LA and start doing comedy.
No, I was acting first because I've always wanted to be an actor, and
What kind of roles have you picked up?
well, let's
Do you
see.
because I get like drug dealer, drug addict.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of prostitute things in the beginning.
Me too.
Because I was like real in shape. I was moving across the country, and I was like, everyone's so in shape there. I really better get it together. And I was younger, and I would just like. There were some roles that I would ask to. There was like a short film that I was supposed to be like just the side friend with 2 lines, and I auditioned for like the lead, and the writer just didn't call me in because I was black. And so then I was like, I really think I could do this role. And she was like, that's fine, cool, like come read for it. I didn't even think she realized she did that. And then it ended up being between like me and another girl. I couldn't cry on cue, so I did lose the role. But she called me back in for stuff like later on. So it's just like I've had to write my own parts. I've done web series and stuff like that, and then some commercials.
Mm-hmm.
But being on sets, like mainly, you're doing little independent things. I just didn't vibe with actors. Like,
Yeah.
I would always just want to like kind of chill by myself and like save my energy. And they were just,
There's a lot of codependency.
they were like showing each other their videos and like,
culty kind of
yeah,
mentality.
it was weird. And then I had to do improv because I need an agent. They're like, you got to do improv.
That seems to be a running theme in this city. Is
Oh,
I
yeah.
find all these actors go, yeah, I'm doing my improv classes. I have no respect for that whatsoever.
It's like,
What are you talking to me about? That you got good at making up shit with some other fucking bottom. Anyway,
it's
nonsense.
interesting. It was cool to be on stage, but like the thing that I got from it was like,
I don't need this dead weight.
yeah, because you feel like you would set up a joke and then like somebody wouldn't
Yeah.
be on the same page as you, and you're like, well, fuck, that whole setup is done because we don't. So it was. Then I was like, well, what if I just did it by myself? So it was kind of, and improvers were way too positive, like all the time for me, and
Yes.
I was exhausted.
I used to live over by the Birds, by the UBC
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And I'd hear this kind of, I thought there was, well, I guess some cases Scientologists, but they had this very upbeat excitedness about it. The dialogue between them was, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. And I'm just waiting for, it was building up to what I would think would somebody shooting themselves. It was just, you can't function
Like,
at that level.
So excited their heads are gonna like
Those people have
explode.
dark secrets.
I would agree. That's because I was like, how are they so happy? Like, it made me feel uncomfortable.
Sociopaths.
That's true. And I worked here in Hollywood, so I was like never in a good mood. I'd be like, cool, yeah, I'll go to improv practice. No, but I'm not overjoyed. You guys are always happy. It's crazy. So
Yeah, there's got to be a little bit of an emotional struggle.
Comics
to
are
make
just
the good comedy. Yeah.
comics are just on my more my emotional level.
Well, I think the spectrum of mental states is a lot more broader in stand-up.
True.
You've got, former doctors to transvestite prostitutes, and all functioning in this kind of, I'm more or less thinking about the patio of the store.
I know, yeah, you can see literally everything.
I know, that's not the Improv or the Laugh Factory or what have you, but the store. What were you? I was there last night.
Oh, I didn't go last night.
It's a pretty regular thing, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's fucked.
Oh, the store. I mean, some of the people, like, I think about, you have to be a little bit psychotic to do a lot of.
You like to have a couple
industries.
Cocktails, loosen up a little bit.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I've been known to have a drink or two.
And it makes me happy.
What does?
Because everyone else is really trying to manage themselves into something. You know what I mean? And you're like, all right, another one.
I don't care. I'm just there to, like, it's,
I've never seen you be an asshole or anything. You just
I was an asshole the other night.
Oh, were you?
Because one of my guy friends just made this, like, offhanded joke a few weeks ago that really, like, got under my skin.
To your face? Or
to my face. Yeah. And I corrected him in the moment, but it just, like, I didn't realize I was still pissed about it. And I was like, that joke was fucked up. And he didn't remember. And so then I was already a little tipsy. Everybody kept buying me drinks. I'm a fun time, you guys.
That's a fun time to do it.
I'm a fun time.
You got lots of charisma when you get up 3 or 4 drinks in you.
That's somebody else.
Now's a great time.
Oh, it's a great
to
time.
The bottom.
I was like, yeah, it was fucked up. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, and I was just like, it's one of the, I would definitely overreacted, but like.
Probably not.
But it's this, like,
I think
to
in
me,
that
it's a
environment,
store.
yeah. There's no boundaries there.
I think that
you're standing in other people's shit.
Some people do, I feel like, have put, like, I don't know, the thing I love about the store is it's
they
just.
They love to test those fucking assholes.
It's like a barren wasteland to me. Like, it's just, it's for all the unfit toys. So I'm not, like, I'm not, I don't know. I'm not there. There are people who
you're aware of where you are.
Right.
You're not fooled into thinking that this is an audition for a movie, and you're not just off the bus.
How exhausting to just, I don't know, always be on, like, looking who's around. Oh, I should try to meet that person. Like, there are people who just sit there and do that, I'm sure.
So I wear my hat, keep my head down, smoke my cigarettes in the corner, and scowl at everybody. Picture them with no skin.
That's one way to cure stage fright.
There's some shows I've seen lately. I was thinking about when I was goofing around. You can't see this at home, but I've got, like, skulls and candles on the tables. Do you like horror movies?
Yes.
Do you? I wasn't sure because some people go either way on it, and.
Well, and I love skulls. I have something like this in my new living room. Oh,
these Halloween pop-up stores that happen, I'm like, I can't even go in there.
I know.
Especially when everything they're doing like 80% off. So I grabbed a couple of things I could put under my arm, but I'd really like to fill out the whole place with the worst Halloween.
You saw that, like, candelabra thing I have that has those skulls on it?
Yeah.
I got that from Halloween season. Yep. I was like, I can't not buy this.
And it's cool. It looks great aesthetically, and it could all burn down to the ground tomorrow, and you wouldn't even blink. Oh, there was $7 with the monsters. I like the really bad mechanical witches and things that you walk past and they kind of leer at you and things like that.
They had all those little cute, like, dogs, like skeleton ones this year. A lot of those, like the bird and the bird. I really wanted to get one for year round, but I didn't know if it was too much. So.
Scary.
Like a skeleton, so like like a dead dog, basically. Yeah. So it's just like the bones of the dog, and some of them move when you walk past it.
Oh, very cool. I was thinking about getting a roadside animal, like a roadkill, or like a dead house cat. And put it in a clear plastic bag and fill it up with, like, maybe like green tea.
Why the green tea?
And then leave it in a tied bag in the sun for, like, I don't know, like a month. So the thing is bloated.
Oh, no.
And then I have like an open, like a hospital gown, and that's it. And this cat in a bag with about 4 inches of cat juice. His name's Carlson Cat Juice. And then I go up and I fling the cat carcass over people while they're having dinner, and then puncture a hole in the bag and spray it into my mouth all over everybody. And I think that's a costume I'm going to do next year.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of preparation. But it sounds like the payoff will be good.
I think it's going to help my YouTube views, especially when the court cases started.
I mean, yeah, I'm assuming these will be strangers that will get the wrath of this.
Yeah, I think potentially some incurable diseases from cat juice.
But you're gonna get a real cat.
You got to get a real cat.
It
looks stupid with a fake cat. Yeah, but there's plenty of dead cats around. You can find a dead
And you're
cat.
just going to keep that in your apartment for a month?
No, I'll put it in a bucket, like a tin can with a metal lid on it. The whole objective of this podcast is to get people to throw open their mouths. And that means it's like, a tap out kind of thing.
Well, I see why, you said in the beginning, you think that people think all these crazy things, and I just don't see where they would ever get that idea that.
Well, I think, yeah.
I mean, where could it have come from?
I've been doing comedy for like 20 years, so I haven't functioned. I don't live in my friends are abroad and all insane geniuses in their own right, and some of them are just full-blown crazy schizophrenics.
So you're drawn to. What's one of the biggest red flags you've skipped? That's what I want to know.
A girl without a pussy. That's a big red flag.
Okay. All right. Yep, that's a big one.
No, red flag. I just, I don't know. It's not what is a flag? A bad decision?
I think if somebody lies, that's usually a red, like early on,
Yes. Like try to mislead you thinking that they're doing something. They've gone out of their way to build a fib around something that doesn't really have any, like why would you want to make the effort in that? Liars are the worst.
They're bad. If you catch those early, that's good. A guy who maybe...
As a mature person, that is like a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because then where do you go from there?
Aren't deal breakers red flags? Or are they not?
Well, you said plural. So you have to have a series of flags to break the deal.
Okay, so the flags lead up to the deal.
I think the deal break, I have like a kind of a 3-strike
okay.
system.
Yeah, I feel like most people do, but maybe we should just do one.
I know,
There's
but
too much bullshit
That's
out
why
there.
I'm going to die alone, because I just do one now.
Really?
Yeah, people get fired from Fucktown pretty regularly.
Seriously?
Yeah.
From Fucktown?
From Fucktown. I've fired a lot of people from Fucktown. So
that sounds like a place you can't even get fired from.
No, but that's the thing. The boss is old, and he doesn't really give a fuck
Doesn't
anymore.
have time for it.
He doesn't have time for fucking around in Fucktown.
I get it.
So it can be a very, it can be very abrupt and very shocking to some people.
No warnings.
No, well, it used to be very explosive and dramatic, but it's more or less, it's kind of like me scraping dog shit off my shoe on the sidewalk.
Whew. Whew.
You know what I mean?
Cold.
It's like that. It's pretty cold.
That was icy.
I had
Wow.
This is bad. So an ex was banging on my door for like 20 minutes.
I bet you get a lot of those.
Yeah, I get door bangers.
I know you get door bangers.
Now that I think of it, there's been about a half a dozen door bangers.
I know it. I know in the middle of the night,
okay,
this guy's getting his door banged on.
What? No, but aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, I can't wait to see you.
Oh, no.
I need to be here now.
They're like, you better open the fucking door.
Now, for somebody who's, what do you think when a door banger looks when because there's been bangers?
What do they look like physically?
What's state of mind? What kind of...
I think to be a door banger. I've been accused of being a door banger once, and I had never been so insulted in my life because I can be a crazy bitch, but a door banger is a special thing because it's usually the ones I've seen is usually, means you're unwelcome in some way, or there's been some reason for there to be needing space.
Yes.
So. Then there's like also this desperation, and like it's relentless. Like a girl who just will stop at nothing, like a swim fan almost is what I think of.
Swim fan?
Yeah, remember that movie where she like, she just was like stalking this dude, and she kind of like hurt people around him. And she just
to affect his life and to control him in some form or another. Yeah, it's a form of control. Because that person doesn't have any control over themselves.
Yes, exactly.
So they're trying to manipulate you into their quicksand so that they can fucking have some sort of codependency, fucking psycho cunts.
And do they have like dark roots? I don't know. I'm thinking dark roots, blonde hair.
No, come on. I'm not that trashy.
I like that look.
Dark roots and blonde hair, but I always think that like she also has a black eye. Right? And a strip club that she used to work at or something like that.
Has that then been the case?
No, not.
When was your most recent door banging?
Wasn't
there a story you were just about to tell?
Valentine's Day. Like a few years ago. That was bad.
What did you... He just looked down.
I didn't do anything because it was fucking insane. And luckily, I had an eyewitness who observed the whole thing. But it was like total loss of control, like trembling, desperation. I'm like, this is not a good place for either of us. You know?
No.
You need to do the right thing and kill yourself. You fucking crazy bitch. Get the fuck off my front door. You fucking psycho.
But does that make you ever feel like really good though? Like,
no, I don't like seeing anybody in that.
There's not one party that's like, man, I must be. Or you just like they're so fucked up
there's just a series of events that have happened in their lives, and now they've poured it all on my doorstep.
Right.
And I know it's hard not to take it personal, especially when it's starting to affect your life in a really negative way. Mm-hmm. But that is something that they've pulled up into your life, and it's not your fault.
Don't take that baggage.
But I find if you throw a hot coffee in somebody's face through a screen door, you can get them to slow down a little bit.
Holy shit. Oh my God.
It was my piss. And it was a super big gulp. And it was hot. I packed the bottle and had it on my shelf. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I'm like just horrified over you.
Once I know that you're listening, I do this to people all the time. Once I get you, it'll start off in some truth, and my intentions are good. But once I know that you're invested in it, then it starts to go to fuck town.
You just up the ante.
Yeah, up the ante. I had my roommate convinced that the guy across the street hung himself in front of his kids.
What?
For a couple of days. But then I told him I was kidding.
Then, is the guy still alive?
Yeah, I made everything up.
I'm just super gullible.
I love, extremes. You know what I mean? I love seeing things at its worst and at its best. There's something about like, the Ding Dong Show.
Yeah.
And Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I appreciate both. There's some people who can't.
No,
understand. Like those people, maybe I just don't vibe. I do like. I don't know. I really don't like people who can't
gel.
You can't. Yeah, they can appreciate.
No,
just, like,
I don't
something
understand
so
this. So fuck this.
Yeah.
And this is the framework I kind of live in. Those are people I'd like to, say, look at. You've got a budget of this much and a plane ticket within this scale of the planet. And go live in another country for 6 months and then come back and have a completely different perspective.
Yeah, even going to a different state is like...
Be a tourist in your own country.
Yeah, you really should. I mean, I haven't seen so much, but it's just like people who have that... I feel like I can sense so quickly when people are just like going to be closed off, and that's why, I mean, I could tell you weren't judgmental, but I do try to look like a judgmental bitch, but I'm not.
Well, you probably have to do a series of things of just keeping the local retards away from... Because people become very, invasion of your spit. Don't touch me. I don't fucking know you. And who are you to talk to me? I've seen some people called out a couple of times. So you're in good company. It's very fun to see it happen.
To see people get called out?
Yeah, like to the face.
Especially if it's with comics around because they're so nosy.
Yeah, and it's a medieval times kind of forum. Like, it's very Game of Thrones. You're hazed, but it's good to see people all of a sudden the rug's pulled out from underneath them and having to deal with the situation. And all of a sudden their friends, quote, are starting to move away from them right on the spot. Right
there, physically backing away.
Everyone's just kind of, you can see people stepping away from the perpetrator, but...
I mean, I at least the only thing that I appreciate, I feel like, about myself is I don't have I could, yell at somebody and be like, you know what, you can fuck off or whatever, and then I'll say my piece, and then I'm usually over it, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And people think that that's crazy, but I'm just like, I'd rather just get it out, and then I'm done with it.
Yeah. Well, it will just consume you because it's ongoing.
Right. Can't hold grudges. Yeah. That's like
in this city, it's you can pick up a grudge stepping out your front door.
I've been trying to just I try to let everything just slide off my back now, because I used to when I first moved here, normal things you would think normal people would do.
Did you start smoking weed here? Or?
Yeah. I tried it in Virginia, but I was such a goody two-shoes that I was too paranoid. So I would just be like, we're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, sure. But now it's more, it works with the landscape.
Yeah, and I prefer being chill. So I'm okay with being a little outraged from time to time, but I'd much prefer to just be chill and not have problems.
I drink a half a bottle of gin and then piss in my own mouth and stuff like that.
You can't piss in your own mouth.
You know what?
Shoot up like that?
You're saying that, but there's about maybe a dozen people right now going, I've seen them do it. Piss in their mouth. I was doing some shows in Finland and in Helsinki, and they had those, the urinal are the trough style ones.
Yeah.
And the tile, it kind of comes down I don't know, actually it was a metal one with a flat wall. No dividers. It's Europe, right? There's cocks in here. You're gonna see one. Whatever. You know what I mean? And the co-ed saunas were very difficult to deal with. I was found out how very conservative I was when you're sitting drinking beers with a half a dozen smoking Finnish girls, and everyone's like, this is a matter of fact. Anyway, I lost my train of thought.
I know. I was like, I'm going to let keep going.
What were we talking?
About if you can piss in your mouth.
Oh, piss my mouth. If. So these comedians that I had just met in Finland, we all happened, a couple of us happened to be all pissing at the same time, laughing,
As men do,
And then I pulled down my pants to my knees and start to squat and piss in my own mouth, and I looked at them like I was the foreign exchange student who didn't know how to use the restaurant, and they were like, no, so they all ran down to the one, right? I made it super weird.
I did not consider squatting. Now that you
just bend your knees, so it creates some sort of element of he's
closer.
Been doing this. He's in. There's some mechanics to what he's doing. He's not just doing this to freak us out. So I pretend I was kind of bewildered about where do I stand and how do I do this, and then I pissed in my mouth and it ran down my chin. And
how long did you know these guys?
10 minutes.
Oh my God.
I just got to the venue, and then we all happened to be in the public restroom. So, yeah, I haven't been back to Finland in a while.
Did they hang out with you the rest of the time?
Oh, yeah, we did numerous tours together, and we had a lot of fun.
Wow.
Drank a lot of alcohol. The Finns are healthy drinkers. They had a thing called Finnish wine, and that was just a bottle of vodka
Oh, well,
Yeah.
to the point.
I had a couple guys show up at the show and give me a bottle of vodka and a knife. A quite cool. It was like I wish I still had it, but you can't travel with shit. It was a wolf on both ends, and they had two blade on each side. I think it was more of a movie prop.
What was the knife for?
Finnish people like to stab people.
Oh shit! So they just get drunk and stab each other?
Yeah. They're cool. Have you ever been to North America?
No.
Never.
Well, I mean, no. Mm-mm.
Where would a place that you like to visit?
I want to go to Ireland. I'm trying to convince my family to want to go.
Yeah.
So.
Why Ireland?
I've always thought that we were Irish for some reason, and then my mom did like the DNA thing.
Oh,
and she's like 60% like Irish. So I was like, what? That would be a beautiful place to go. I've never been across seas, so why not?
Do you have a city in mind? People usually gravitate towards Dublin.
Right.
But I have never been to Dublin, but I've been to Belfast probably about 6 or 7 times.
What are the guys like there? Could I marry one? Could I bring one back?
Could you understand one? That would be the key. Because
does that matter?
no, I don't. Depending on what you want. But I think you'd have a great time.
I think that'd be fun. But I don't know. Maybe just me and my sister or something, because I would want to drink. Yeah, I know.
It's wet,
but we live in LA, and I don't even go outside ever. So
yeah, no, it's I love it. My grandmother's from Cork, Ireland, which I've never been, but I've made numerous trips. There's a gig on a Wednesday in an old church in Belfast called the Empire, and they must have 300 or 400 people in there on a Wednesday watching comedy.
What?
And it's awesome. I shit my pants. The first time I did it was probably 2002. I did the show. We're staying with some friends in London, and the second day I was in England, he's like, I got you a gig. I'm like, great. I'm like looking at a subway map, and he goes, no, it's in Belfast.
Do you have to fly?
Yeah.
So who helped you book that ticket?
Well, it's a regular gig. They do it as a weekly Wednesday night, the Belfast Empire. And 2002, I think I did it in the fall. And there was the murals, and the police car looked like tanks, and it was very, very scary. And I did a major faux pas and said it was very nice to be here in the UK.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But luckily, I think what saved my ass is I established that I was from Canada. So I think there was a little forgiveness in there.
Well, that's nice.
But it was cool.
What were the comics like there?
Good. Irish comedians are good.
I feel like they'd be really dirty for some reason.
Yeah, I think they're just, there's some various classes, like but I found the comics were just kind of blue collar, brilliant storytellers, very, some of the people in the audience were hilarious. Like
I bet.
They would yell some fucked up shit out. And the comedian, it was nothing like a completely original heckle. And now the guy that's drunk with his girlfriend has the entire audience's attention. And these comedians have dealt with these, same with the Scots. They're pretty, savvy and will try and interject in some form or another. But it's usually alcohol fueled. And in their defense, they're fucking usually very funny.
Oh, so my God.
You can't villainize like, I fucked your mother. You've really got to use your comedy jujitsu and fandangle your way out of something. Or you could be the villain of the night.
Right. That sounds terrifying.
People get attacked. I've been attacked. I don't like getting attacked. I've been
like
attacked
somebody threw a glass at you or something?
No, somebody ran on stage. And,
what?
Yeah. There's some videos online of some fucked up shit. But, yeah.
I think it's just like, even like talking about like blue collar comics and stuff, for like people in the audience being so funny, I forgot other stuff that was funny, because when you're here and you're just focused on comedy, you see, like, I see like a lot of my friends and I see their sets, and like I get really worn out with so many specials that have been coming out, so I haven't really been keeping up.
Yeah, it's like eating at Pink's every day.
Yeah, it's like
Pink's hot dogs every day.
The
Wiener factory is on fire. Well, you probably got a little more some clarity being back home.
It was just so nice. But you know what? I was just like, fuck. My upbringing was so easy and boring.
Really?
Yes. And I was like, why the fuck would I have picked comedy? I have nothing. But it's like my parents are. It's
you don't have to have the pain.
I know, but
comedy.
you sometimes feel like you do, and it's just.
That's what the guys with the pain will make you believe.
Oh yeah.
It has nothing. It's not rooted in any of that.
Yeah, that's so true.
Or anything, there's not a formula in place.
Well, I started seeing stuff. I think like going back after having a little bit more experience and being around my family, like I just noticed so many things that they do that are so hilarious. Yes, and it was just so refreshing. I laughed at everything.
Mom does that same stupid thing. I've never noticed. Yeah,
yeah, you just notice so many different things.
Are your parents alive?
Mm-hmm.
Both of them?
Both of them.
You did have an easy life.
My room is still like the same as it was in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
What year were you born?
87.
87?
Yeah. And my siblings, my two older siblings, when I went home, they were like, when are you guys going to change this room? She doesn't live here anymore. And my parents are like, well, and like all my like little trophies, a lot of them are like runner-ups. So I was like, why are we keeping these runner-up trophies? I didn't even remember being a runner-up so many times.
You'll need those things to get through your Alzheimer's when you're older.
I know.
You'll have pick up these physical memories that might bring you back something. What were the trophies for?
One I lost. I was runner-up in this homecoming queen pageant. So if you're homecoming queen at your high school, there is a pageant across the nation of homecoming queens. So in my state, I had to compete against other homecoming queens.
What the fuck? How old are you? Like 18?
You're like, yeah, 17, like 18. 17, yeah. And
that's a lot of work, though. We're laughing, but that's a hard job.
But it was like, I'm not a pageant person, and like just because you're homecoming queen doesn't mean that you.
A glass of champagne and a cat under your arm. What are we doing?
Well, I was such a little goody two shoes. They asked this question, the last question. And I think that this is what let the other girl win, but everybody mentioned Jesus in their answer because it was like, who inspires you? And I talked about like a real woman who like went through a lot of stuff in her life, and I was like, she just really inspires me. And everybody else said Jesus, and I was like, damn it. So I actually am fine with being runner-up.
I think there's a key factor in a lot of these online voting and these talent competitions when people mention Jesus, and then they're caught pissing on kids like a year later.
Yeah.
It's so hypocritical, but everybody goes, Jesus, I'm all in. And they're usually come back with some sort of haunting,
like the worst stuff. They're always the worst. That's why like I'm not afraid of people who are a little bit like, I'm a little messy. Like, yeah, you can see me at the Comedy Store and I'm going to be drunk and I'm going to, whatever, every now and then I might have an outburst, but it's me.
Yeah, it's genuine.
I'm not like also like
a Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, it's just not going to be as shocking when people who put on a facade all of a sudden have like 10 dead bodies in their closet.
You ran into that guy at the mall.
And
you know that you've been in various situations in the comedy community where you've crossed paths and you get the completely different person. So, and then the next day they slip back into their old character.
Yeah, like if I were to see him at the store tonight, I'm like, I don't think he'd say hi to me.
Or it's or
in front of other people.
Out of politeness, there's some dialogue and there's no weight to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very awkward, jarring like a former bad relationship. Hey, nice to see you. Stay out of my yard.
So many people come in onto your property.
Yeah, I know. I got to get my farm fixed. That's where I'm going to move to a farm.
Oh, you should. Why not?
I like that lifestyle.
So do I.
You like rural countryside?
When I went home, we've got like a creek on the side of my house, and I got high. I rolled a joint and I got high, and I just like walked in the woods by the creek, and it was so quiet.
Oh, at home?
Yeah, at home.
Yeah, you don't do that down the LA Canal.
No, yeah, like
clubbed. You stepped over 3 piles of diapers and a body.
Yeah, exactly. A syringe. Like, no, it was just like peaceful. I would like to live somewhere like Big Bear, something like that, for just like a month or two or something. Just be chill.
Gives you some clarity.
Yeah.
I try and block off at least a month out of a year to go and visit family on the farm and be around nature and shit.
It's important. And like this shit's so overrated too.
Yeah.
Like,
this is a big pile of sand
ugh.
with a Hollywood sign on it. But the weather's great, and we're here clearly because of the industry.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think anybody aspires to raise a family in Hollywood, and that must be a weird thing. I think, especially for kids that grew up in this environment.
Yeah, there are people, I think,
They can't function
anywhere
at
else.
your family's house.
Right. Yeah, it would be too far away from other things. Even though everything is, it's like 20-minute drive to the store. You could, where can you go in 20 minutes here? Really,
And this
not
is
that many places.
You're going to stay in California.
Yeah,
And start a family.
and I have to work on getting a date first or something. I'm going to be 30 on Friday.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
So I think it's going to go uphill for me
30.
after that. Yeah.
30's a good time. 30's
I think
a
it's
good
going to
time.
be yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be 13 on Friday.
Oh, really?
Actually, my birthday's on New Year's Eve.
What? You're a Capricorn?
I am a Capricorn.
Oh, that seems like so much pressure. New Year's Eve birthday? Or does it get overshadowed? Totally.
I'll celebrate it 2 weeks later. We're going to go to see some shows in Vegas and
nice.
Have some fun. But no, the New Year's thing never really affected. People would say, it's close to Christmas and everyone's partying, but there's always something to do.
That's true.
And I'm in the same position I am at most parties, crying in a closet. No, I like to kind of just be in the background. But usually the excitement that I like to stir up is can be bad.
Problematic.
Attention police.
What do you mean? What kind of excitement you like to stir up?
I'm very repressed in the city. I have to put a button on it. But yeah, I like to do some wild shit once in a while with equally crazy people.
You're the instigator of starting crazy shit too.
Yeah. I bring out the crazies and get them hyped up.
I'm an enabler to crazy. I'm not so much the person with the idea, but if somebody says something, I'll be like, sure, why not?
For moral support. Immoral? Immoral.
Immoral support,
Immoral
sure.
support.
Well, you gotta live.
That'd be a great sitcom. A moral support. It's about a lady. How would you? That lives with her husband, who's a S&M gimp at night, but has a very corporate job during the day, and she's very meat and potatoes, Martha Stewart. And he's always got shit stains on his chest.
So
she's always washing his back at the end of the show.
Is she the dominatrix too?
No, she's like she's a nice lady. But the guy's
what? No, let's give her something more fun to do.
All right, she's a child killer.
Okay. Does he know? Does he support her?
No. It's kind of
he's got to have
Dexter.
immoral support.
Immoral support?
So they should support each other's immorality.
Right. He's the the toilet, and what would her gig be?
What is she's the toilet?
No, he's the toilet. He's the toilet. He's on a leash, but he also works as in a very clean corporate gig.
I do like her.
She runs a heavy petting zoo.
Of people?
Of just llama. Yeah. Her husband works for her in a heavy petting zoo, and she feeds him apples and whips them.
I feel like they run this business together, like he gets in the clients from his business world, and she seems like a really nice lady, but she runs like the inner workings, the everyday of the
mechanics of the whole thing?
Right.
I saw something weird.
What? No.
Yes. I went to this place in Denmark, Cafe 33 or something like that in Copenhagen, and they offer this thing called the dirty. First of all, it's like you'd see a New York City sex shop in the 70s, magazine stuff. It's all very seedy part, and then there's some stairs that go up to a room, and there's a bar with just one beer tap in a small area, and all the other rooms have little photocopied signs of like genders and stuff. And one of them had animal, like people fucked animals in Denmark up until a few years ago. Yes, I didn't have I seen enough on the internet. I wasn't even interested in pornography, but this kind of like haunted house for deviant. It just smelled.
I mean, that's not where I thought that was going. I mean, you were just like, and yeah, I get long story short, they fucked animals. I mean, I didn't expect that. Animals,
but you could order a dirty beer, which was the lady would get up on the bar, and then she took this, opened a cupboard, pulled out a large rubber dildo.
Oh no!
And then twisted it down onto the beer tap, and then hopped up on the bar, pulls her underwear to the side, and just starts feeding this thing inside of her. It looked like it bent like twice as she's trying to drive it down, and then grabs my hand and puts the cup in my hand, and then puts my thing, and then leans forward and pours the beer, and then it makes me drink the beer. But she didn't smile.
No, what?
She didn't smile. Is that bad?
Oh,
I think she was text messaging the whole time too.
She just wasn't into it enough.
No, and I think I felt disconnected. I need to feel disconnected.
Wait, did that really happen? I'm too high to know what's what.
No, that's true.
That's not true.
It's true.
You're tricking me.
I am not tricking you. That is actually the truth. You can Google it.
I don't know what to believe. Don't make me Google that.
You can totally go. Just Google dirty beer Denmark Cafe 33. Yeah. You can go in. It's a thing. It wasn't a special.
Somebody else who's been, you just let me know.
Yeah, you can go. I'm going to go again.
Well, I mean, with service like that, why not?
She didn't smile. Oh, and this is the worst part, is there's a little TV table to the side. The room was literally this big, but the bar was in the middle, cabinet here, and a fan to the, that I could touch with my knee sitting at the bar. On a
lot of detail in this story.
With a fucking an ashtray. What my point is there was a fucking fan next to the ashtray, but I couldn't smoke at the bar, so I had to step a foot and a half to the left and smoke under a fan that was blowing the smoke into her face anyway. It was a topsy-turvy world.
That's a odd rule. Are you just adding details now so the story sounds more rich?
No, this is actually, I can't believe it. Out of all the things that you questioned, was the only truthful one. It's
really?
True. Yeah. You know what?
God, I'm really bad at just telling the difference between anything.
Fuck. Yeah, you can Google it.
All right, I'll put that on my list.
It's not like a big tourist attraction.
Not a lot of people go and check that out.
There is a cool park, an area where all these hippies took over, and it's a drug market.
Just people sharing drugs? What do you mean?
It's kind of like, like the farmer's market?
Yeah.
Think of the farmer's market with hash and marijuana and edibles.
So it's overpriced and you have to do it early? On a Sunday? No. I just never understand. I'm like, fuck. The one that's out here, I never get up early enough for that.
No, I know. It's on Sundays.
Sundays. I went once when I had a boyfriend. And I was like, wow, I'm really living life.
And it is overpriced, right?
Yeah. But I had I was like a waitress. You give like extra money. Whatever. Living the dream. I really felt like I had it together going to the farmer's market. Buying like homemade jam or whatever.
Yeah, you're trying to be domestic and fit in and do all the LA things, and you're like, these people don't know what the fuck. Anyway, so she's fucking herself with this mannequin arm, and she's biting her lip and looking at me like we're going to be in a relationship. And I reach into my pocket and I'm like, I got this extra engagement ring. I'm going to put it on her balls.
Why would you have an extra engagement ring?
I just keep like a jar of them and just hand them out to homeless ladies, and then they kind of think they're in a relationship. Because sometimes they work better that way. Some of those girls on the streets, fucking the shower and a gnat brush, comb all the gnats out of their lower back.
Why are you? This is exactly what we were talking about before. I feel like you're really ignoring a lot of red flags. How'd they get there? Let's start there.
There is. You got to keep the flags down.
I mean, at least half mass. That seems.
Yeah.
fair.
I've had friends that dated girls that I could clearly see they had drug problems, but they never really functioned in that world, so they didn't see the red flags. But I'm like, dude, she's got a serious fucking problem. Oh, but she looks great. Yeah. She's going to kill you in your sleep with a toothbrush. You know?
I can't wait until like a few years where I have some of my friends who are married, like, just people that you kind of seen and maybe you semi-Facebook friends or something. You see them on like an episode of Snapped in a few years and they kill their significant other.
Yes.
That's going to be so fun.
Yes, and then they interview you and you're fake crying but laughing off camera.
You're like, I just can't, I never would have suspected. She just seemed like she loved him so much.
And
she
then
like stabbed him 47 times or something.
There's a lot of that. There's been some good murders. Do you have any famous serial killers in your hometown?
No famous serial killers. There was the DC sniper that's really.
Oh yeah,
which was
that. Was it a father and son?
It was a father and son, and they were black, which was.
Thank God.
Yeah,
somebody
you guys
lucked out on
that. But other than that, no. But I've always I love the whole just the capability of being able to kill someone and the psyche behind it is so interesting.
You get my newsletters. Thank you.
I was avid subscriber.
And you did comedy when you were back home?
I didn't.
Didn't?
I was just a normal person.
Good for you.
Who I asked and I was like, maybe I should try to do some stand up in Fredericksburg or something. But I mean, it's when I see my grandma, it's 5 days. Is it really that?
Yeah, it's not pressing.
Life, just wait until I can schedule an actual time to go do a show. But
when is your next show?
When is my next show? Tomorrow at the VA in the Valley somewhere, I think. So hopefully there'll be a lot of drunk veterans. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, drunks at comedy shows. I don't think there's not enough of them. Everyone has to drive and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
What's your favorite places to perform in the city? Besides the usual clubs? Because I haven't found anything.
My favorite. There's a new Echoes on. Remember Echoes Under Sunset?
Yeah, I used to live 2 doors from there.
So they had to move it. Now it's on Pico. It's in a really cool space, and they're doing mics every night now. But I think they're trying to do shows and stuff. But I mean, amazing room. He's got a little bar set up. They always had that bar anyways. I liked how cool the whole vibe was. I think that place is going to be really good for shows.
Oh, good. When did they get going?
Maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, and it's right across from Roscoe's over there too. So it's a good spot.
What Roscoe's is over here?
There's
that one.
There's another one, yeah, on Pico.
Oh, how good is Roscoe's?
Yeah, it's good.
It's chicken and waffles, which doesn't sound that great, but it's the best chicken and waffles.
It. I don't like mixing stuff like that together.
Sweet and spicy.
But they did it right.
Yeah, it's delicious. And this December 22nd, I'll be doing the Naughty Show with Sam Tripoli.
Oh, Sam.
At Harvell's in Long Beach. And then January, Venice Underground. And then I'll start my Canadian tour in early April. Some stuff coming up in that I can't talk about just yet. But yes, where can people find you?
Find me. I have my own podcast, which you have been on. And
yes, thank you.
Killer. It's called Hot Chicks Aren't Funny. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Courtney Banks, on Instagram at the Courtney Banks.
Well, thanks for being on the show, and thanks for listening, everybody.
And for living.
Mumbling through myself. I've clearly had a stroke today. I haven't been out. I haven't really talked to anybody for days, so I'm still getting my motor skills back. But big stuff coming up in the new year. Happy Halloween, everybody.
I don't care what society thinks. It's clear nothing anyway. There's no better